Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic on a huge puzzle day for the channel. We've released two videos, no less, already today. One, if you're a fan of the cryptic crosswords, you won't want to miss. Mark solves Jane Street's new puzzle, which they made specially for him. So I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen. It's very cool. And I had a crack at one of my favourite treats at Christmas time, which is the GCHQ Christmas Challenge. And we released that video earlier on as well. So do have a go at that challenge. It's always, it's a few minutes of great pleasure in the season of Advent. And I'll try and remember to put a link to that video too. But we're going to be trying, in today's video, it's a debut. I've read the rules to this. They are very, very unusual indeed, but I'm sort of quite excited to try this. It's called Rotational Disks, and it's by Leonhard Kohl-Lörting. Definitely a name I don't know. And the idea is that around the circles, so that you can see there's sort of a red cage here. If you were to rotate this floppy disk around 180 degrees, then cells around this point, around the circle, then cells that map to each other sum to 10. That's how it works. And then we've got killer cages as well. So those two add up to 10. Those two add up to 10. And the same is true for the blue cage. These two add up to 10, etc., etc. That's all it is. So that's I've got no clue how hard this is. If I was guessing, I don't know actually. I don't know whether it's going to be hard or easy, but I'm looking forward to trying it. Before I do, some other things to mention. There are just 28 hours at the time I'm recording this left of our Kickstarter. The Kickstarter's been running for 28 days, I think, and this is to make this fantastic puzzling Christmas present. Let me see. Have I got a card for it? I do. There. Oh, it's not in the right place. There we go. So Peter's working hard on the novella, and that novella is going to sort of form the cake around the icing, which are lots and lots of Fog of War Sudokus by Sandra and Nala, Jay Dyer, Analytical Ninja, Chili Math Pesto. I think Xeon Risk might have one now. I solved. I'm missing someone's name, aren't I? Oh, naughty Simon. I don't know. But I recorded my solve of Fistomafel's Fog of War puzzle yesterday, which is an absolute treat. Anyway, do have a look at it. There's not long left now to get hold of it. Yeah, it really will be a cool thing in time for Christmas. So that's that. Over on Patreon, we've got the Skunk Works 100 puzzles, 4x4 that so many of you have been enjoying. I enjoyed. I recorded myself solving that as well. And I've got some birthdays to do before we get cracking. So let me do those. I'm going to say a very happy birthday to Grace. Now, Grace, I think by the time this video comes round, I will have the correct date because I know you're down there in Australia. Your boyfriend Danny wrote to us and said that you're turning 17 today, and that you might appreciate a shout out. So many happy returns, Grace. I hope your exams went well for the both of you, and thank you for watching the channel. Next to John over in Wisconsin. Your wife Gillian wrote to us and told us that you watch every day and you have requested a chocolate cake with 1-to-1 ratio of icing to cake correctly. Well done, John, and I hope you get your birthday wish. Many happy returns. I'm not sure. All my birthdays are muddled up in terms of days today. I have a feeling that John's birthday might be on Saturday, actually. I think it might be for Saturday. I hope I haven't messed that up, John. Anyway, happy birthday for Saturday, if I'm right. Next, Mel, it's your birthday today, I think. I'm looking at my notes desperately. Mel, I think it is your birthday. Your son Max wrote to us. I think you're over in New Hampshire. And I know that you've been dealing with a lot recently, and including an ill cat. And I hope your cat is on the mend. And I'm delighted to hear that the two of you enjoy watching the channel and solving the puzzle sometimes. So I wish you all the best for today and many happy returns, and I hope you can have chocolate cake, of course. And then another East Coast of the Australia birthday. Where's that then? Is that going to be Brisbane? I've been to Brisbane. And this is to Frey, whose twin sister Neve wrote to us, but the two of them are twins, so it's both of their 19th birthdays on Saturday in Australia, which is going to be tomorrow by the time this video comes out in Australia. It's a mixture, a medley of days that we've got today. And apparently Neve is making Frey a chocolate cake, which is a lovely thing to do. And I hope the two of you have a great day. And I think you might be off to university next year, so I wish you all the best with that, of course. And then finally, Virtual. The setter, Virtual, it's your birthday today. I know this because Riff Clown wrote to us and told us and suggested we do a puzzle today, but I'd already been scheduled to try this one, and that message came in a bit too late, but we'll see what we can do with a puzzle by Virtual in the coming days. Now, let's turn our attention to Rotational Disks and see what Leonhard Kohl-Lörting, I hope I'm saying that correctly, has in store for us. These are the rules. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply, so we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. A circle indicates the centre of a disk, which is a 5x5 area. For each cell inside the disk, if the disk is rotated by 180 degrees around its centre, the contents of the new and old cell have to sum up to 10. So that's what we said before. Killer cages show their sum. So those 3 digits sum to 17, those to 8, those to 15, those to 11. That is all the rules. I'm checking. No, I can't scroll. There's no scrolling required to find any new rules today. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. I have got the right glasses on. I can't use that as an excuse. Right. So I am seeing very lit. I've got one idea. Okay, I've got one idea, and while I have that idea, I will just use that moment to pencil mark the 15 cage, which is either going to be a 6-9 cage or a 7-8 cage. There are only 2 ways of making 15 in 2 different Sudoku digits. There are 3 ways of making 8. 3, 5, 2, 6, 1, 7. There are 4 ways of making 11, and goodness only knows how many there are of making 17 in 3 cells, but I think it's going to be a lot. Right, so here was my thought, which is, what do you put in the cells in the centre of these disks? Because if I perform a rotation of this square around 180 degrees, I end up in the same place, don't I? So the only digit that can work for is 5. So I think that's presumably the start, is we write 5 into both of these squares. Contents of the new cell and the yeah, so that must be right. It's quite cleverly worded, actually, that paragraph of the rules, because it does sort of tell you perform the rotation and then you add the new cell and the old cell. Now you might say that's the same cell. I suppose that would be an argument, but I think the wording is trying to tell me that this is a 5. Now, here is a thought that emerges from that. Which is, where are the other 5s in the grid? Because it occurs to me now that, for example, that cell can't be a 5. Because if that cell's a 5, its symmetrical counterpart, its rotational counterpart around this point, is this square, isn't it? So if that's a 5, we need to make those 2 add up to 10, so this would be a 5, but there's already a 5 in this box. So I suspect what we're meant to do now is to highlight the cells in the grid that could actually be 5s, given the rotational constraints. So let's firstly deal with Sudoku. So that deals with Sudoku, doesn't it? None of these squares can be 5s. Now, anything that rotates onto this 8-cell series around this point, so that means all of these squares can't be a 5. So these 8 obviously can't include 5. Many of them couldn't have been 5 anyway due to Sudoku. But this one, for example, can't be 5. That can't be 5 because the rotation is over there. Bobbins. This hasn't really worked, has it? I haven't thought about this one down here. Ah, that can't be a 5 because in the blue cage, look. If that would rotate to there, which would cause another 5. Right, and we've got the same sort of thing, haven't we? We've got that 8-cell sequence. Oh, I see. No, this is fine. This is fine. So now I'm going to hone in on where we can possibly put 5 in the middle box, and I think it's got to go there. Which means one of these two is a 5. Now that is in the red cage, which means one of those two, by rotational symmetry, has to be a 5, which knocks 5 out of a whole load of new cells. Oh, this 5 sees that one. Let's not forget our fair weather friend Sudoku. That is a 5 at the bottom of the grid now. There's a 5 up here. That's not in one of these cages. Now, can we improve upon this? I don't know yet. Well, hang on. These can't be 5s because those are the rotational counterparts, so those are not 5s. So the 5 in box 9 is in a domino. The 5 in box 7 is in a domino. So we get to place 5 5s. But I think that's all we're going to get, isn't it? No, it's not, because when I place this 5, that is it's hard to keep track of this, but that has effectively placed this 5 because the rotational counterpart to that square is that one, which now must be a 5 in the red box, and this is good. So that gets me a 5 here, which gets me a 3 here. So we're up to 7 5s. Oh no, that doesn't work. Sorry, what I was about to say, before my brain rudely interrupted my mouth, is that square, I was about to rotate it around this, and then I realised it wasn't in, that cell's not in the red cage, so that doesn't work. So the challenge is going to be, how do we resolve the 5s on the right-hand side? I don't think there's a way. Neither of these are in a cage, so they're not in the blue and the red cages. So I don't think we're going to have any joy trying to do that. Oh, that looks better actually. That feels less claustrophobic all of a sudden. But we've got some digits. We've got some digits. Okay, right. How about we try and do something with this cell then? Because the rotation of this cell around this point is that cell, and that cell must therefore be a 1, 2, 3, or 4 because it has to add up to 10. I've had another thought. I'm going to claim that those 3 digits have to add up to 13. Is that right? Which is, in fact, not very interesting, even though we've got a 3 and a 5 in the row. I don't even have to have a 1 in that string. The reason I think these add up to 13 is that these are the rotational counterparts of this cage, which adds up to 17. So if this cage adds up to 17, the reflection of this cell is there, the reflection of this cell is there, the reflection of this cell is there. So these 3 must be the complements of these 3 digits, such that all 6 of these digits add up to 30, because each pair individually adds up to 10. So I think they add up to 13. Now the corollary of that is that these 2, which are there, add up to 9. Because, again, we must have the same sort of principle. If they add up to 10 and they add up to 10, then 20 is the sum of all 4 of those, which means 9 is the sum of these 2 if these 2 add up to 11. Oh, this is not easy actually. I might be revising my thoughts on how long this video might last. What on earth am I meant to do here? So these are up to 9. These are up to 9. These are up to 13. There's no other cages where I can perform that sort of rotational logic. There's no. I was just going to say there's no requirement for these digits to be the same as these digits, is there? What we can say is that the sum of the red cage and the sum of the blue cage is the same, because each rotational pair in the 5x5 will add up to 10 in both this 5x5. Actually, that might be what we're trying to do here. Let me just think about that for a moment. It's not set, is it? If we go all 5 rows there. Oh, that's a horrible colour choice. Sorry, let's try a different. It's quite hard, at least for me, to see the blue and the red against the colours of the background. No, that's awful. That's absolutely awful. Maybe. Oh, that one is the one I can see it most clearly against. So we'll do black, and then I was going to do these 5 columns as well. Let's maybe try orange. Oh, that's not great. Maybe go back to maybe have to go back to green, because I can see the red against the green background. So what I was thinking is, obviously the black cells I've just highlighted are 5 complete rows of the Sudoku, and the green columns I've just highlighted are 5 complete columns of the Sudoku. Now we know that those collections of digits must be the same thing, mustn't they? Because each row individually, each column individually, is the digits 1 to 9 once each. So the contents of black or grey overall, and the context of dark and the contents of dark green overall are the same. Now, if I remove this square from both the green set and the black set, what do we know about the digits in green and black now? They're still the same, because they were the same before I removed this set, whatever happens to be in this cell out of both sets. So if I remove the same thing from both sets, they're still the same. So I can do that for all of these. So all of what we then learn is that these digits in the red set are the exact same digits as these digits in the green set. Oh, this is horrible though, isn't it? This collection. Well, all of these digits are in. All of these digits are in the red cage, but all of these are not in the green, not in the blue cage. So, I mean, I was just thinking, could I do something with the fact that those squares, I could work out the sum of those digits, but I don't know what the sum of those digits is going to be. The reason I know the sum of these digits is that each of these has a symmetrical counterpart. So all I have to do is add up how many cells there are in that string, which is 14. So that's 75's worth of digits, isn't it? Because each counterpart adds up to 10. So that's 75's worth of digits, but the value of this depends on the value of those, and we don't know the value of these. And this is hopeless down here. This just doesn't work at all down here. Sorry, this is not right. This is not how to think about this. At least if it is, it's some very sophisticated thought that I don't begin to understand. Sorry, these are the worst moments when I literally I don't even know what I should be looking at here. What I feel like I need to do, except I don't know how to do it, I need to somehow use the fact that I do know the sum of all of those digits, because the sum of all of those digits, or indeed the sum of all of these digits, somehow I need to relate the fact. Yeah, okay, well, that's true actually. The sum of both of these squares is identical, even if the digits are not identical. So what I mean by that is that this is a 5 by 5 in which every opposite pair adds to 10. So 5 by 5 is 25 squares. Knock out the middle square, 24 squares. So there are 12 pairs within green that each add up to 10, which means the sum of green overall is 125. Watching the time tick away and not understanding what to do. I mean, I can relate those. See, that's nearly good. That is nearly interesting. Just the straightforward Ard van der Wetering trick relates those to those, doesn't it? But I don't know what the sum of... I know what the sum of all of that is. That's it. Oh, no. Oh, this is much... Right, this is easier than I thought. Right, got it. Okay, so... I thought we were going to have to use sort of the interlocking geometry of the two 5 by 5s. I don't think you do. I think you use this one, actually. We only need this one. Right. This is weird, actually, because if the puzzle had been set up differently, well, there's no reason why it should be, but I think I would have got this point more quickly. But my brain was polluted and it let itself down by considering that cage as well. Let me show you what I mean. We're going to go back to drawing rows. Right. Those squares, what colour do we make those? Black. Right. We can describe those cells. That's 5 sets of the digits 1 to 9. Don't know how the digits are disposed within the black squares, but that's what the total quantum of black squares must represent. Now, let's compare that. This is a trick that Ard van der Wetering, the great Dutch constructor, discovered. Let's compare that with those green cells. What are those green cells? Well, they're 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9 because it's 4 complete columns. So, we can take digits that are common to both of those things. The crucial thing to keep in your brain is that the difference at the moment between the black cells and the green cells is 1 set of the digits 1 to 9. Bear that in mind. So if I remove that digit, whatever it happens to be, the contents of... Let me describe that more precisely. The contents of this cell I'm taking out of both sets. Boom. What's the difference now between the green set and the black set? Well, it's still 1 set of the digits 1 to 9, because it was 1 set of the digits 1 to 9 before I took this thing out, and that was in both sets. So I can do that for all of these digits. And why is this exciting to me? Well, it's because now I have got the total... I've not only got something I can compute the value of here. So this was 12 pairs that add up to 10. So 125 is the value of this, the black cells. And we know that 125 is 1 set of the digits 1 to 9 bigger than the cells in green. Now, what is the secret is the question I now want to ask. So this is going to work, isn't it? I think it's going to work. I'm not totally sure. I think it's going to work. So the secret, what is the value of 1 set of the digits 1 to 9? The value of 1 set of the digits 1 to 9 is a secret I tell only my very favourite people, but of course I'm going to let you in on that secret if you've borne with me for 25 minutes of nonsense where I've got nowhere. The secret is that those digits, the digits 1 to 9, sum to 45. So at this point in the puzzle, we know that because the black digits are one set of the digits 1 to 9 more or different from the green set, I know the value of the green set now, because I can just deduct 45 from the value of the black set, which is 125, which means that the green set adds up to 80. Now, if the green set adds up to 80, and I remove those cells from the green set, what's box 9? What's the value of those cells? Well, that's 45 again, because that's a set of the digits 1 to 9. So, these cells now, as I'm doing this, I'm double checking my maths. These cells add up to 35. Now that's interesting, because these cells add up to 20, which means these cells add up to 15. Now what? So I know. Right. Okay. So finally, I've got really earned a digit here, because if these add up to 15, but we said before that those added up to 17, so those three add up to 13 in order to make these pairs add up to 30 overall. What's that digit? That is a booming 2. That is absolutely beautiful. Leonhard, take a bow. That is so clever. Now, the rotation of the 2 is there, so that's an 8. This could be now the rotation of the 8 in the other box, because the black cells are in the red box, is there, so that becomes a 2. Right, we don't need this anymore, do we? I'm not sure. I'm going to delete it in the hope that I don't. What were those? Those added up to... That's going to be interesting, actually. Those added up to 13, didn't they? Because those all added up to 15. So, yes, these add up to 13. Right, the 13, without using 2, 3, or 5, well, you must have a 1 in there, because otherwise you're adding up 4, 6, and 7, and that's many more than 13. Do you have to have a 4 or not? Yes, otherwise it's 1, 6, 7. So there's right. So it is 1, 4, and then whatever the balancing digit is to get us up to 1, 4, 8 is what we've got there. This is forced to be 1, 4, 8. Oh, I see what that's doing. If that's 1, 4, 8, those squares are the complements of these digits that add up to 10. So there must be a 9 in there, a 2 in there, and a 6 in there. And the 2, oh, look at this. There's no 2 there, so that's a 2. Okay, so the 2 goes opposite an 8, and then these stop being 8s. I see, yeah, that works, doesn't it? So we've got 1 or 4 opposite 6 or 9, 1 or 4 opposite 6 or 9. So, but did we get any more? No, we didn't get any more from into the red set as a result of this, unfortunately. So what do we do next? Answers on a postcard, please. I don't know. I don't know whether it's probably Sudoku. Just a terrifying thought. 6, 7, and 9 into those squares. Only one of which is in a cage. So the opposite of this square, which is that square, is the complement of 6, 7, or 9. So it's 1, 4, or 3. 1, 3, or 4. Okay, so where is 7 in this box? It seems to have to be there, doesn't it? It's in one of these two squares. And that must have a 3 opposite in one of these. Oh, this is weird. This is weird. It's beautiful as well, though. Right. I think this is right. I was sort of questioning. I don't know how you set this. This is so strange. Okay. So what I'm seeing now is in this box, it seems to be the case that 7 is in one of these squares. But we know that 7 rotated around here, which is in one of these squares, has to have a 3 there. Now if there's a 3 here and there's a 3 here, by Sudoku that seems to have to be a 3. And that in turn bounces back down there and makes that a 7. That's really, really strange. Right, but now we're going to get all these digits, aren't we? Because these digits are they're a snooker maximum. That's a 147 in the row, and 1, 4, and 7 rotated around the red circle go there with 9, 6, 3, and that's not a 3, which means these squares are now 1, 4, 7, 8. I'm just going to put those in. I mean, that's not 8. That might have been foolhardy what I've just done there. No, we don't know what that is because we don't know what that is. Do we know what that is yet? No. Do we know? I know what we're going to know. We're going to know what this is somehow, aren't we? So that transposes. Let's put some colour on this. That transposes here. So these are complementary. So this adds up to 9. Ooh, that's horrible. Sorry, I don't see how to do that. That's probably my bad. If that's 6 or 9, there should only be the same number of options on both sides of the rotation. So that should be not 7. Why isn't this 7 then? Oh, because there's a 7 in the box. But that, I see. So the fact this 3 sees that one. Yeah, there's some sort of weird interplay, isn't there, going on? Ah, I see. Oh, this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. This puzzle is really, really beautiful. Right. What is the content now of the 15 cage? Now, if it's 8, 7, look here. There's an 8, 7 pair here. So if this is 8, 7, let's just put it in the corners. Where do 8 and 7 go in this box? And the answer is into one of these squares. This would be an 8, 7 pair. And that's impossible. For the most beautiful reason. Which is, what is the 8 and the 7 on the right-hand side of this 5 telling us? Well, it's telling us in this column, the rotations of this, which are actually those 2 squares, now I see it. They're exactly those 2 squares, but we know what digits they have to be, because they're the complement of 7 and 8, which are 2 and 3. But they can't be 3. You can't put 7 into those squares, because you can't put 3 into those squares. So it can't be 7, 8. So this has to be 6, 9, is what we've just learnt. What does that do? Oh, that's distressing. That's a, well, no, it's not a lot. It's fine, isn't it? Because I was wondering what that was doing. One of the things it does is it makes this 1 or 4, but I can see now what it's actually doing is putting a 6, 9 pair into box 5, and look, there's all sorts of ramifications of this for both floppy disks. The 3 now has to be there, which means this is 7 opposite the 5. But also, that 6, 9 has a 1 or a 4 opposite it. That 6, 9 is also in the red cage, so it has a 1 or a 4 in the corner. This 6, 9 is in the red cage, so it has another 1 or a 4 in the corner. Oh, okay. It's not actually done it, has it? Oh no. No! How do we do that then? I'm not sure. Has that actually helped us to understand what's going on in this puzzle? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm still not sure. I don't quite know whether or not we've just learnt something very profound or not. We've got some 1s and 4s up here. I don't know. Perhaps I meant to. It's also quite difficult because I keep looking at these thinking these are in the same cage, so I have to make them different, which is total and utter nonsense, of course. Let me mull this over. So in this column we haven't put in 1s for... Oh, this is a 7 or an 8 at the top, because that C's a 1-4 pair. So that's only 7 or 8. This square is 1, 4, 7 or 8, I think. And it is transposing into this square in the 11 cage. Now, okay, so the complement here is 9, 6, 2, 3. Okay, so 6 comes out of here, because 6 would put 5 here, which would break that square. So that's not 6, which means that's not 4. Oh, it's close, isn't it? It is close. Yeah. Yes, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. That can't be 9. Because this would be 2 and Sudoku would break the world. So this is 2 or 3, and the opposite, therefore, is just 7 or 8, which gives me a 7-8 pair. Oh, I thought it was going to be good, but no. No. Okay, well that square is now 8 or 9 by Sudoku, which means this square is 1 or 2 by Sudoku. How? Oh, no! No! I'm devastated by that. Hang on. How can that not resolve? I don't know. Whoa. Ah, okay, there's something I've just noticed there, which is I've got a 1, 4, 7, 8 quadruple in box 3. But I suppose I should therefore think about that digit, shouldn't I? That only now has 4 options, a mere 4 options. It's 2, 3, 6 or 9. And its counterpart goes down here, which must be 1, 4, 7 or 8. But I don't think that they're seeing enough digits for that to be useful. Is there something we can do, perhaps? I mean, I have neglected the red cage a fair bit, haven't I? Maybe there is something cleverer I can do over there. I mean, one thing I'm seeing... No, that's not even true. What I was about to say isn't right, so I won't say it. Maybe I've got to think about these 3 digits. They've got to be 1, 2, 4, 8. Those are the options for these squares. And they have counterparts, obviously, which are these 3 squares, which therefore are now 2, 6, 8, 9. Now, is that creating anything interesting? That can't be 8 because of the 8 here. And the counterpart to that is that one, so that can't be 2. That was woefully underselling itself. It may be necessary to start sort of colouring 1s and 4s or something. That is possible. We've got 1 cell left that we've not sort of designated in the top right of the of the funny cage here. Now that cage, that digit is actually restricted. It does see 2, 3, and 1, and 4. So that, and it can't be 5. Oh, is this some sort of weird naked single digit? Well, that digit, believe it or not, is 6 or 9 only. It's not a naked single. 6 or 9 only by Sudoku, which means that digit is 1 or 4 only by Sudoku. That feels like it's very close to being important, doesn't it? So these, oh yeah, they had to add up to 9, didn't they? So this is either 1, 8 or 2, 7. 1, 8 or 2, 7. And this is the complement that adds up to 11. Oh, why can't I do this? I'm desperate to solve this now as well. It's so ridiculously clever. What could it be? Have I filled? I mean, I haven't. I can see obviously there are still some cells in the red square that I haven't yet allocated. Do we know something about those digits? Oh yeah, I do actually, don't I? Of course, because that one must have a friend here. That must be an 8 or a 9. That doesn't do it though. That is the complement of that. That is an 8 or a 9. It looks like it's trying to do something clever, but it's just not managing it. There is a 7 in row 4 in one of these two squares. That is true. Which means one of these two squares definitely is a 3. I'm just going to highlight those two so that I can think about that. Have we got anything else anything else like that going on anywhere? Not so as I can see it. That's a 1 or a 4, so this definitely includes 2 and 8. So these squares definitely... Oh! Well, no, hang on, that must be wrong, because that would give me that digit, and that would be absolutely festive if that's true. I just want to think about that for a second. So what I'm saying is, in this row, the 2 and the 8 are in these 3 squares. That's true, isn't it? That seems to be true. So let's put that in. Now the corollary of that is that digits that are the complement of 2 and 8, which are themselves 2 and 8, must be in these 3 squares. And if that's true, that square is a 7. Whoa. And, well, that gives me an 8 here, which we know, and we know these add up to 9. So that's a 1, that's a 4. So that's a 4 using our quadruple in this box. Now that might well have done some things. He says hopefully that's now 4 down here by Sudoku, which means that's a 6 over there. The complement of 4 being 6. If this is 1, 8, this is 2, 9. And we... no. That's 2, that's 9. Come on. Crack. Please. Please, 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 please. What on earth does this mean? I don't know quite. Come on. 2, 2. There's a 2 in one of 2 places. No, there isn't. Right, I need to somehow pencil mark this. But it's a cross box, which is why I'm loath to do it. But these squares here, they definitely include 2 and 8, don't they? Because of this. So the question, a legitimate question, is where does 2 go in box 3? And it's there. It's the only place for it. Now that has a complement here. So this is now an 8. Right, and is that... So that 4 is giving me a 1 here. Now that goes with 9, which puts 6 and 4 here. That gives me a 1 here and a 9 here, which makes this a 6, this a 4. Now these have complements. Right, where are they? One of them is there, that's a 4. The 4 goes with 6. The 9 goes with 1. How did you set this? I mean, this is a magnificent puzzle. Right, so we've got quite a lot of stuff done there, actually. If this is 1, 7, these squares are 3 and 9. They definitely don't include 6. Okay, let's just take stock for a moment and see if there's any easy wins that we can garner. So if that's 4 or 8, that can't be 6. Oh no, it can be 6. It can't be 9. That can't be 9 anymore. So this is just 2 or 6. So in this column, oh look, where's 6 in this column? It's got to be at the top because there's a 6 down here. And if that's 6, that's 4. So this is 2, 8, which means this is 2, 8. 2 and 8 are very complementary, aren't they? Especially very polite to digits. So this is now 2, so that's 8. Now we've just got to reverse that. That's 2, that's 8 by the mad logic we're doing. So this 8 means that's 9. Oh, I see, I could have got that from the 1, I just didn't see it. So that's 3, that's 7, which means that's 9, that's 1. This box hasn't got a 7 in it yet, so that's 7, and that should be 3, and that looks like it's working. That's 9, that's 6. That's not 1. That's a naked single. It's a 1. That's 8. That's 7 then. Did I just make a mistake there? I think I did. As I did that, I felt like it was wrong. Yeah, I think I saw that. Maybe I saw the 7 and then somehow thought I had to put 7 there, but it was an incorrect thing. I was about to say we might get a 3 in the corner. No, we don't get a 3 in the corner. Right, we've got 3, 5 and 9 to put at the top of the grid. So the 9 must go here, the 3 must go here, the 5 goes here. So Sudoku now just needs to work out at the bottom of the grid, and we're good to go, aren't we? 1, 3 and 7. Where is... Oh, I can't see how to do it. This is 1 or 7. This is a 1. 1, 7, 3. So the bottom of this column is a 7, 8 pair. The bottom of this column is a 2 and a 9, I think, which we can do, 9 and 2. The bottom of this column is a 4 and a 6, which we can't do apparently. The bottom of this column is 1 and 8. The bottom of this column is 2 and 3. At least it seems to be working. This is 1 and 3. This is 5 and something, 5 and 6, I think. Oh, well, that's going to give us the 5 in a moment. But let's just fill in the options. And this is 4 and 7. So what works? 5 apparently. How did I get a 5 pencil mark here? Oh, that was right at the start, wasn't it? So that's 5, which means that's 6. So that's 6, that's 4, that's 4, that's 7. That's 7, that's 8, that's 8, that's 1, that's 1, that's 3, that's 3, that's 2. What a puzzle that is. Yes, yes, that is absolutely brilliant. Leonhard Kohl-Lörting, take a bow. That was really so original. Hardly anyone solved it. 13 people in 4 days. That's really, really clever in a very unusual way. And you tricked me a bit, actually. I thought I was going to have to do set, but with this one, as well as this one. And in fact, you just do the top left one, and then you can use that to sort of break into the bottom right one. But it's in a gorgeous way. You know, knowing the sum of these from getting the 5s gives you this, and you can compare that one to there and then get that one. That's a sick break-in. That's really clever. It's really clever. Let me know whether you had a go and how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. Check out the Kickstarter before it's too late, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.